Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Ruha Shadab, the founder of LedBy Foundation, and welcome to the third annual virtual graduation ceremony of LedBy. Incubated in 2019 before COVID, LedBy has grown exponentially, and that has been possible because of an incredible team. Let's start off by seeing who is behind the scene, and starting off with our Chief Operating Officer.
Good morning, everybody. I'm so happy to be here today. My name is Deepanjali Lahiri, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer at LedBy Foundation. I joined LedBy 2 years ago because in my 13 years prior to joining LedBy, and in spite of working in very large multinational organizations, I had worked with only one Muslim woman, and I had hired 0 Muslim women, none at all. And not only was that disappointing, but what was worse was I didn't even think about it. And the realization only came to me when I had had my first conversation with Ruha. And in that regard, I still remember that a wise person had once said that if you have the privilege of knowing, you don't actually have the luxury of not doing anything about it. I knew that there was a problem that needed solving, and I knew that that problem started with me. So this is me. I am here today because I want to bring more Muslim women into the mainstream workforce. This is me doing something to change that narrative.
Hello, everyone. My name is Fatima. I am the program manager here at LedBy Foundation. The reason I joined LedBy is because I've always been very passionate about education, especially girl education. I worked at Teach for India. I did a fellowship where I taught in a school for 2 years, and then I continued working in under-resourced schools. I saw a great disparity. Apart from the wealth disparity, I also saw a disparity in the way our girls were treated compared to our boys. The consequence of bad behavior for a boy was often met with, what can we do? How can we help to make life easier for the child? Whereas for our girls, I often heard, अगर उसने इतना किया तो मैं अभी स्कूल से निकाल दूंगा, right? So the consequence for a girl always seemed much more high stakes than for a boy. And then I kept wondering after my journey whether this also translated to employment. And surely enough, it did. And I think that's the reason I came to LedBy, and it's really helped me want to stay in this space and work here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Anushka Maheshwari. I'm the program associate at LedBy Foundation. I joined LedBy because honestly, I was looking for a job. When I starting my 20s, time to make bad decisions, right? Life had other plans for me. I got detected with cancer, and I won't deny that the following months were hard for me, but I won't get into the boring details of it. I was looking for a job to keep my mind off my freshly out of the cancer phase to help me stay afloat. But the important thing is why I stayed back at LedBy. I'm a strong believer of women empowering each other. But the problems I saw Indian Muslim women face was something I was not even aware of before. Something that is not even addressed as a challenge to the people outside the community. And they'll not know it. But with the connections I've made here, with the empathy I feel in this room, and the nurturing we do for one another after closely working with over 500 Indian Muslim women over the past 9 months, is a constant reminder for me every day. Empowered women empowers women. And that is the reason that I'm here.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'm Asfar Rahman, Senior Associate at LedBy Foundation. And I joined LedBy because I truly believe that if you want to bring any change in the society, in the world, you have to be the first string of that change. And since I'm myself a Muslim woman, I know what all challenges, what all stereotypes we face on a very daily basis. So I truly believe that I want to be that string for the change, for at least for the Indian Muslim women.
10 years ago, when I was doing my MBBS, it was 2012. I had just started off in a medical college that was considered a top medical college in India. And I was very excited to be learning clinical medicine, working really hard. But I was also very interested in now, finally, after these years of studying for my pre-med entrances, to start focusing on some of the other things that appeal to me, such as debating, public speaking, writing. But I found that there were no such avenues in my school at that point, in my college at that point. So I decided to create some of those spaces. I decided to kickstart the college magazine for this 100-year-old women's medical college. So I created that. I started going about finding a team, started to get inputs from people. And then for any book, any magazine, you need somebody to write a foreword, right? The first like introductory / testimonial kind of writing by somebody renowned. So for the foreword of my first college magazine that was coming out, or the college's one of the first magazines to come out, I think they had a couple of misstarts before. I wrote to at least 100 people, everybody that I could think of who I thought was famous, influential, a possible role model. Wrote to them like this young, naive college student, and 99 people did not reply. I got nothing, no feedback, nothing. One person replied with the foreword. They actually wrote about Harding's history, which is the college that I went to. They spoke about how it is a girls' college and why that's so important. So it was clearly a letter meant, a forward meant for my particular college. And this person was APJ Abdul Kalam. He replied to an email that I had written to him out of the absolute blue. The entire editorial team was so excited about it. It brought in so much energy into the work that we did in 6 months of creating that magazine once it was finally launched. He'd also invited us over to meet him. And 20 of us young, nerdy medical students went over to his residence and met him and presented him a copy. It took one person's bet on me to give me so much energy. And that's what we want to do with LedBy. We want to give that energy and encourage hundreds of people, hundreds of Muslim women. How do we do that? We do that primarily by our 2 programs, which currently have 600 alumni and students. These 2 programs are the Accelerator Program and the Corporate Leaders Fellowship. The Accelerator Program provides basic professional skills that help you open up doors such as access to networks and opportunities to job for 18 to 30-year-olds with any amount of work experience. The Corporate Leaders Fellowship provides distinctive professional skills for those who have been in a job for around 1 to 3 years and are looking for ways to grow very fast within their current industry. We're here to celebrate the fellowship and the accelerator cohort batches 1 to 5. I want to say to you graduates that we see you, we see your potential, and we are betting on you with our time and energy that you will be amazing, trailblazing professionals. Congratulations on your graduation. Congratulations on all the hard work that you've put in. And I'm also looking forward to seeing how you're going to pay it forward.
Thank you for that, Ruha. That was truly, truly a very special and a very heartwarming welcome for everybody. I now want to take this opportunity to introduce a very special person, somebody who I was introduced to just a few days ago, in fact. I've been so thoroughly impressed by her, and I am very, very privileged to have the opportunity to welcome her. Sharmeen Khalid is the Chief Human Resources Officer at InfoEdge India Pvt. Limited, the flagship company for brands like Naukri.com, 99 Acres, Shiksha.com, and Jeevan Sathi. She is a seasoned HR professional and has dedicated her career to working on women's rights and to ensuring that women create a place for themselves in the workforce. Sharmeen is a postgraduate from the Indian Institute of Rural Management, Anand, and a graduate from Hindu College, Delhi University. Sharmeen's husband is also an HR professional, and she has 2 daughters who are in college now. Resilience and gratitude are 2 core values which anchor Sharmeen in good and challenging times. Sharmeen, we are so happy to have you here, and welcome.
Thank you. Am I audible, visible to everyone?
Yes.
Great. So, dear members of the LedBy Foundation, the graduating fellows, and dear friends, it is indeed an honor to be in the company of so many talented and, most importantly, driven women achievers. My pleasure to sort of begin my day in the company of all of you today. I would like to begin by congratulating all the graduating students for having successfully completed, such an important milestone in your lives. I'm sure it means a lot to you. And, you have come this far and it's like commendable, your achievements. So congratulations and a big applause to all of you. I believe every generation is a lot smarter than the earlier one. So I am confident that you all are much more prepared and suited to embark on a journey to success as compared to how I was three decades ago, probably, when I was your age and in a similar situation. So actually, there's a lot to learn from you all, I must say. And I keep sort of, getting a lot of nuggets of wisdom from the younger generations, which I really value a lot. However, as I was reflecting, on what to share, that will be of value to you. I thought of sharing some life lessons that have held me in good stead. And let's say if I just sort of flash back and think if these nuggets were available to a young Sharmeen, she would have been sort of more be ready for to face the world. So I'm hoping a few will be relevant for you as well. A little about me. I was born in Munger, Bihar, and I'm the youngest amongst 5 siblings. My father was in a public sector transferable job, so I moved cities quite frequently all over India. I got married at 25 years of age, the same year as I joined my first job after my MBA. I am an HR professional and have mostly worked in IT, product, internet kind of companies, and have really experienced the boom of the IT sector, in the Indian economy. I live in Noida with my husband, and like Dipanjali mentioned, both my daughters are now in college. We are empty nesters, and we are trying to sort of start this new kind of life where children are not around and we have other things to focus on. So yeah, that's a little about me. Let me sort of begin by the first lesson. I would say the first lesson is you're much beyond your gender, religion, or your social identity. I'm from Bihar and a Muslim woman, and that's a heady combination. And I experienced it for the first time when I went to Delhi University and I got ragged because of this kind of a combination. And it was like right on my face that, okay, I mean, this combination, means different things to different people, and there are certain biases which exist. But having said so, many a times people have asked me if I was ever discriminated. And my answer always has been negative. No, I haven't been discriminated. I sincerely believe that I couldn't have come this far had I been discriminated very seriously. If there were such instances, I did not hold them tightly and moved on and looked for environments that would support me. My desire, ambition to grow and succeed was much stronger than these minor hiccups. So that's lesson number 1, that you are much beyond your gender, religion, or social sort of identity. Don't get tightened because of that. The second lesson is that if you have the desire, you will find supporters eventually. And once you find them, leverage them, lean onto them. In my case, it was a typical, you can imagine 30 years ago, uh, how it was in a typical Muslim family, where the only goal of the family was to marry off the girl in a good family. And especially so in my case, I was the youngest. My father was was retiring in a couple of years. And they just sort of, and I was like sort of groomed to be a good wife, learn how to stitch, learn how to embroider, learn how to, do all the sort of help in the housework, etc., etc. So I mean, but I was doing well academically, and I really resisted. And when I turned 2021, marriage proposals started coming in, and some of them were very good, and I just got very frustrated. And one day I almost started crying when there was a lot of pressure because there was a very good match, the ultimate match, good family. I said, I mean, I was very frustrated and started crying, and my dad got to know about it. And he eventually called me over and said, look, I'm going to support you. And you have a couple of years, figure it out for yourself. I wouldn't be talking to all of you had it not been the support of my father, who, despite sort of retiring in some time, supported me financially and emotionally to take up my, career seriously. And I had this dream that, when I used to go to his office and look, sort of see him in a cabin, etc., I would say, yeah, this is what I want. And there was again a lot of pressure to push me towards a teaching job or a research job, because that's what women were supposed to do at that time. And I was very clear, no, I want to be in the corporate world. Right. So my dad was a big support. And after I got married, my husband, I mean, I wouldn't be here again talking to you if he wouldn't have supported me. There were so many decisions in life. Sometimes he would get a job opportunity, which would be very attractive, but I was doing well somewhere else. And I can talk one example again, when he got a very good opportunity in Saudi many years ago, as a head of HR in their largest FMCG company. And we really, and we had two small girls at that time, and we sort of thought about it, that what will a move to Saudi do? This is again 20 years back, for my career. And we realized that, yeah, I mean, I will have to take a pause. And therefore then we said, no, let's continue in India, and we will, let's make the most of our careers in India. And that was a big sacrifice he made for me. And eventually I also reciprocated in some way or the other when we had to move locations, etc. So the second point I'm trying to make is that if you have the desire, you will find supporters eventually. And sometimes they won't be that visible, but you really have to push hard to get get your way if it's not coming on very easily, but eventually you will find it. The third learning is, there'll be two major transitions in life: marriage and having children. Be resilient and plan these transitions well. It's part of being a woman, and these two are very celebratory events in your life, but you need to plan it. I think the most important for single girls who are part of this, this forum, I would say, choosing the right partner is a very important decision in your life. Do it carefully. Have conversations with your match or spouse to be. Figure out how important your career or your life, your professional life is for him and his family, because eventually we do get married into a family. So figure it out and thrash out. Don't leave it to chance. And because times have changed even more. I mean, and people are very, very particular about what they want in life. So I mean, figure out what's important and discuss with your spouse to be, and then make the decision whether that person is the right partner for you or not. You should not be taken by surprise. And so far as starting a family is concerned, again, a very beautiful moment in any woman's life, but build support system, I mean, parents, in-laws, maids, creche, who will eventually come to your, support when you're going through all this. All this needs to be, again, because I mean, personally speaking, when I was like, had my children, it was a big momentous, and I was very emotional about it. There was a lot of guilt when I would go to office, leaving them at home and stuff like that. And what held me in good stead was some kind of support or the other, at any given point of time. So that needs to be sort of planned well. The fourth, learning that I would like to share is that experience the full world. Don't get siloed. What I mean is that, what happens is when we are growing up, a lot of us, have grown in the midst of a very, a very protected environment, maybe, amongst our community only, especially if we are living in, Muslim dominated areas, etc., etc. And we have, all of us have large families and many relatives, and there are gatherings and there are get-togethers, etc., etc. So what happens is that, our life sort of gets cocooned in that bubble where you are meeting many Muslim families or Muslim people and not enough exposed to, the other world. At the end of the day, we are 20%, 25, 24%, whatever the number is in India, if I talk about India. And then there's that 75, 80%, which is outside. And what is their world like? What are their beliefs like? And, and therefore, basically, I would strongly advise you to network outside the Muslim community. That's the point I'm trying to make. It will open up your, thinking. It'll broaden your horizon, your thought process, make you wiser. It will aid your growth, believe me. And when I look back, I think I found many supporters on my journey which were not from the Muslim community, honestly, and they were from the other side. So leverage that network and do not sort of. And sometimes, your beliefs will get challenged, and that's all right. And that's what growth is all about. So be open to receive from the other world, and experience the full world, and do not be siloed. Would be my fourth learning. The fifth learning is related to, the corporate world and how you survive in the corporate world. Since all of you are like sort of embarking on that journey or want to embark on that journey, know that benefits will come with a price, right? So use them judiciously. What I mean to say is that in this world, a lot of companies are making a lot of noise about, extended maternity leaves, period leaves, work from home benefits for women, and so on and so forth, which is good. I mean, all these support systems are good. Now, but they should not become crutches, when we are sort of moving in our career ahead. I personally took a break when I had my second daughter. My first one was 5 years old, and the other, when she was born, I quit my full-time career at Polaris Software. I was doing very well. And then I realized that I can't, actually, do a full-time job at that time. And then, but I did not leave, and I, took consulting assignments, which were more half-day-ish in nature. So I did, but I did quit my, regular job, and I started doing half days and returnership consultancies kind of, thing. And then once that was over, when my daughter came to a full-time school, when she joined, the big school, I was back into the corporate life. But I never sort of over leveraged or I never let gender come in between, my career growth, that, oh, I'm a woman, I want this benefit, I want that benefit. I mean, at the end of the day, there are people who will want, there will be men who certainly do not need these benefits. And there'll be actually very driven and ambitious women who will not care for, these benefits as well, because they want to race ahead. So take your pick, see what makes sense for you. And, but over leveraging actually works against you, because, but leveraging it well is good. So remember, benefits come with a price, so use them judiciously in your career. And the last point that I want to make is dial up on your self-awareness. What I mean here is that, typically in Muslim families, especially when we are growing up, we are supposed to be disciplined. We are supposed to obey others. We are supposed to listen more. We are supposed to, we're supposed to, be more, tehzeeb, tamizdar, and very, very coy, right? So all that maybe, sort of impacts the way we sort of show up at work as well. And, and it starts showing up in smaller, in certain situations. Let's say you walk into a meeting room and, it's a gathering of many people. Observe where you are going to take a seat. Are you going to take a seat right up in front, or do you want to remain in the background? Visibility is important, and therefore be aware whether the grooming you have got, or the sort of the way you have sort of been brought up, is it coming in the way of your visibility in the organization, and talking it out and expressing yourself and asking and wanting certain things, and not remaining silent and sort of suffering, right? So be aware, dial up on your self-awareness, and it's okay to ask. It's okay to sort of ask and be present and be visible, and that's what is expected of you. You are good, you're talented, you've come this far, and there's a reason for that. So show up fully at work, be confident, and you're not less than anybody else, and that should show in the way you behave in a group setting, and in the corporate life. So these are some of the lessons that come to my mind, and I hope some of them were useful for you. I'm very encouraged by seeing many young, Muslim women completing their education and joining the corporate world. I have seen this number go up over the years, and I see all types, and I hear so many, interesting stories, and so many stories of sort of, winners who have made it, despite the odds. And it really sort of encourages me. And I'm sure, more of that will happen. I guess, one thing which really differentiates is education. And I'm so happy that, Muslim women and Muslim girls are, so many of you and so many of us are racing ahead in this particular field. And if we have, more organizations like the LedBy Foundation, I'm sure the world is our oyster, and there'll be, many of us blooming and doing well. I wish LedBy all the best in their future endeavors, and, go rock the world, I would say. I also hope that all 130 of you fulfill all your desires of professional and personal success. And you sort of create new stories, and you create new histories wherever you go. And on that note, I will say Ameen, and may all these wishes come true. Thank you. And again, a pleasure to be in the company of all of you. Thanks.
Sharmeen ma'am, that was truly, truly inspirational. Thank you so much for making our morning. I do understand it's a stretch, it's a Sunday morning, but really appreciate you being here. One of my biggest takeaways, and something that I think I'm going to remember for a long, long time, is what you said about, if you have the desire, you're going to find the supporters. And I truly believe that. I've seen that with our group over here as well. So Sharmeen ma'am, thank you so much. We'd love for you to be able to stay on and enjoy the rest of our graduation ceremony. I'm now going to take this opportunity, something that I've been waiting for an entire year. It's what I live for. It's what I've been aching to do for a long, long time. This year is extra special for me because I had the opportunity to meet some of you who are in our Zoom windows right now. But I had the opportunity to meet some of you, to hold you, to thank your families for giving you the space and to give you the opportunities. To our fellows and to our accelerator participants, congratulations. You did it. You're here. For our fellows, it's been a long and arduous 6 months. We didn't ever think that it was easy. For our accelerator participants, you spent an entire year with us. You dedicated that time for your professional growth and in your leadership journey. It's been a long journey. And for every step that you have taken, we have been by your side, cheering you on, and we will continue to do so. I am so, so proud to see you take on this journey as you move on to the next phase of your life. LedBy is always going to be there for you. Continue to wear your identity as an Indian Muslim woman with pride and with honor. You deserve it. You deserve to be here. So to our fellows and to our accelerator participants, congratulations once again. This is your day.
Thank you for sharing your reflections. It was really nice to hear Dipanjali share her reflections because I know she's personally been involved in all your journeys. It's so special to see her send off our graduates. Moving ahead, next, we have a very special speaker. Fellows, this is for you. Introducing Sophie. She's supported and been there for the LedBy community from its conception. She's brought her kindness and her expertise to our fellows and helped them find their best self. Sophie, your kindness fills any room that you enter. And I'm so grateful for LedBy because it brought you to my life. Sophie, over to you.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, it's so wonderful to see all of you. I want to start by thanking Ruha, Dipanjali, Fatima, all the LedBy staff for the work that you've done to create this amazing program. And thank you for the invitation to speak today. I'm nervous, actually. I'm excited. I wanted to share how much I appreciate each one of you, the fellows, for the work that you've done this year. Just take a moment and look at the screen at each other just to admire your bravery and determination. You each brought mind and heart and soul towards this effort of growing your new work presence. And you know it to be true. From learning new presentation skills and your facilitated group sessions and with the support of the coaches through the LedBy program, you have made a transformation. And now here we are 12 months later. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about something that's very, comes up frequently in my conversations with you, and also something that I experience in my own life. I want to call out and appreciate our ability to negotiate with people about what we need when we need help or support and what we can offer to each other. It's a lifelong process. Don't you think so? And one that calls for compassion to ourselves and to each other. And I wonder, have you ever felt embarrassed when you've asked, or ashamed when you've asked for help with something? I certainly have. And everyone I know actually has had those feelings about being embarrassed and ashamed to ask for help. But being kind to ourselves and others is such an essential part of this process. And I just wanted to point out that learning how to have these honest conversations with each other about what's really true for you is very important. This will allow you to build a network of support for you to accomplish your dreams. My coaching colleagues and I have noticed how quickly the fellows have learned new skills. So I think this process of becoming yourself, it's a joy, it's thrilling to be able to move out from your past and into your future. Thank you. You are all so wonderful.
Thank you, Sophie. Thank you for your constant effort and the help that you have provided our fellows succeed and learn. And as rightly said, that learning is a lifelong process. Thank you again. Moving forward, Our next speaker needs no introduction, as he had the chance of interacting with most of our participants. He is one of our closest LedBy allies and advocates, presenting Sajjad Ahmed, who has over 20 years of work experience in various areas like program management and service delivery, and is currently a senior director in human resources at Capgemini. Sajjad, let's hear from you.
Thank you so much, Anushka. I hope I'm visible and audible.
Yes.
Okay, great. You know, the best part of this graduation ceremony is that you don't have to worry about how you're going to pay off the student loan, which is otherwise might be applicable for a graduation ceremonies of most of the colleges. And while I'm speaking to I am at IIM Nagpur, and I interacted with students yesterday, and I know some of the worries they have. But this whole LedBy experience was free, isn't it? Now, we also know that when something is free, the standards might take a hit. But I'm pretty confident that none of you felt that way with LedBy. Because you were the chosen ones, and the team has worked really hard on the background to get you the best class facilitators, mentors, coaches, and Sophie just spoke, and I had the pleasure of interacting with her through LedBy. So I know that all of you feel the kind of facilitators and mentors you all had. While you are excited about finishing this program and looking forward to using the learnings in the respective lives, I also know that you feel a sense of loss because you will be missing the friends you have made in the last couple of months. And I got that vibe when I attended a previous session with LedBy, and the messages that were going around, I could feel that vibe. You know, at this stage, there are two things that we can reflect on. What has happened in the last couple of months while you are a part of the respective programs. And the second is the future that lies ahead of you. For the first one, I'll not spend much time, not that it is not important, but that would be like more like getting you to a stage of remembering self. You know, when we go back in time, we are not the real self, but the remembering self. At this moment, you are the experiencing self. You are experiencing this graduation ceremony, and what you're experiencing now will shape the future. The focused self in a graduation ceremony, according to me, is the future you. You know, something none of us can predict. And the very funny thing is that human beings are the only species that can think about the future. The company that I work for has an employee promise. We say, get the future you want. And it says, we can't predict the future, but we can definitely build it. So the logical question at this stage in your mind is, so how do I build my future? So let's start from the beginning. We all came into this world the same, naked, scared, and ignorant. After that grand entrance, the life we end up with is simply an accumulation of all the choices we made. If today you consciously want to know the choices you have made for you to be at this stage, it might be a little challenging because the conscious you is only the smallest part of the activity of your brain. Your actions, your beliefs, and your biases are all driven by the networks in your brain to which you have no conscious access. At every stage of our lives, we make certain decisions that will profoundly influence the lives of the people we are going to become. And then when we become those people, life is completely different. So what I'm trying to say here is progress happens too slowly to notice. But on the contrary, the setbacks happen too quickly to ignore. And we all remember very well our respective setbacks, but will be very difficult to put a finger and say that because of this, my progress has happened. So the first message I have for all of you is slow down a bit. I have seen a lot of youngsters. In fact, yesterday when I was interacting with the IIM Nagpur students here, they want everything. They want to get this, they want to get that, do this, do that, achieve everything as of yesterday. When your brain itself doesn't mature until you are 25, according to some studies, why should be in a hurry in the first place? So let's consider this LedBy association as a single event, right? Be it the fellow or the accelerator program. Will this be enough for you to reach your goal and create good habits? I don't think so. I'm sure other coaches and other people here from the industry would agree that it's the repetition of the learning that does. So always remember, your identity is a moving target. It never reaches an endpoint. We might make few changes in your life after this program, but the results will never come so quickly. And unfortunately, we slide back into our previous routines. And it happens with most of the training program. I'm in learning and development. I can tell you the enthusiasm and everything will be there as soon as they finish the program, but very quickly they'll go back and forget whatever they have learned. So change can take years before it happens all at once. And they say life is a journey from B to D, right? That is birth to death. But what about the C that comes in between? It is choice. Our life is a matter of choices. So the second message is choose what makes you happy, what brings you joy, and your life will never go wrong. Now, enough of you. Let's bring other people into the equation. Studies have shown that our neurons require other people's neurons to thrive and survive. The famous saying, right? The lone wolf dies, but the pack survives. So our greatest strength is the exact opposite of that narrow specialization. It is the ability to integrate broadly. For a mind to even approach its full potential, it needs cultivation by other minds. And I'm getting that message from other people who have just spoken before me about the network. Right? So all of us are affected by three kinds of influences. Input, what you feed your mind. Associations, the people you spend time with, and the environment, your surroundings. So the third final message is to maintain continuous relationship with your mentors. Very recently, when Ruha and Deepanjali were in Hyderabad, I attended a workshop. And I bumped into a gentleman that I know from another group. And during the workshop, I realized that he is Ruha's mentor for so many years. So if you have a mentor today, you are lucky. If not, start looking for one. Before I conclude, let me stress that you are more than your visiting card and salary slip. Just be a little careful in not swaying towards a fixed mindset of getting to the top. The irony is that the growth mindset arrive at the top as a byproduct of their enthusiasm for what they do. We all can't be transformative geniuses, but you can achieve a small slice of singularity in this world. The growth mindset is based on the belief in change. I know you have been focusing a lot on what I was saying for the last 5 minutes, and our brain doesn't appreciate constant focus, and life is a drag if all you do is get serious. So rest, daydream, fool around, laugh, nap, and play. They say rise and shine, but I say shine on someone else. The light will reach you too. Once again, congratulations to all of you.
Thank you so much, Sajjad, for joining us today. And it's always lovely to hear from you. We can't get enough hearing your tips, your tricks, and it's so lovely to hear from you. And now we are going to hear from our champions for the day, our graduates. So yeah, the platform is all yours.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Amana from Cohort 1 Accelerator Program. I remember coming across LedBy Foundation during its initial days and sitting with myself feeling like, wow, I have a community, even without being a part of it. So when the application opened up for Accelerator Program, I knew this was something I want to be a part of, especially for the career progression it promised, for the network it offered along with one's individual growth, and especially the community. I learned everything from scratch to be a professional from LedBy. It has been nothing but fruitful. Each time I apply somewhere or even network with someone, I see myself using the tips I got from LedBy and its sessions. Now, as a LedBy alumni, I'm taking forward the learnings and the kindness I was given by helping people around me to understand the importance of professional development. Today, I see myself as an evolved and informed Muslim woman professional who is not afraid to take up her space. This couldn't have been possible without the constant support from everyone who is associated with LedBy, especially my assigned buddy, Mariam, and the cohort I was a part of. Once again, thank you so much, LedBy, for everything you gave us. Can't wait to take forward the name and learnings. Thank you.
Okay, then I'd love to go next. Hello, everyone. I'm Sharmeen Khalid. I was part of the LedBy Accelerator program, cohort number 5. And reflecting on my journey here, I would say LedBy came for me at exactly the right time. I was coming out of having sat through 3 unsuccessful attempts at the civil services exam. So you can imagine where my confidence level was. It was at a rock bottom. I was trying to get back on my feet and because I already had an MBA, I had some work experience, but things simply weren't falling into place for me. LedBy gave me just the right amount of structure that I was lacking at the time. Going through each and every session, each and every workshop, speaking to all of the accomplished women in my own cohort, were like building blocks to finding out who I wanted to be, but more importantly, how to become that person. I am now a Shivling scholar in the UK, getting a second master's, and LedBy absolutely has contributed to that small bit of success of mine. We all also have to take heed of the fact that many of us came here during a pandemic. And despite the challenging times, we all were willing to work on ourselves, to let our ambitions shine. And that courage and strength in itself is something I believe worth celebrating. So kudos to all of us for seeing this through. And in a heartfelt thank you to LedBy. I cannot thank this community enough. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Khadija Arsiwala. I'm part of the Corporate Leaders Fellowship Program. I fondly remember my first few months as a fellow, comfortable in my shell. But that was the exact reason why I wanted to be part of the fellowship, to break out of the cocoon of shyness and self-doubt. Today, as I speak in front of you, I see my growth. And this would not have been possible without my LedBy community. It's an honor and privilege to be part of such an inspiring and compassionate community of leaders. Thank you, Team LedBy, advisors, coaches for motivating and guiding us always. When I read your profiles for our conversations, I see the success, but I also see the hard work and trade-offs made in the process. I see my tribe, my amazing group of 20 ambitious women encouraging each other on our way to achieving so many beautiful things in life. I am so proud of us. What makes us special is how we go the extra mile to support each other's growth. Thank you, everyone, for making this journey full of learning, warmth, and kindness.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Suha Vakar Khan, LedBy Corporate Leaders Fellow. This is the first time I'm introducing myself as LedBy Corporate Leaders Fellow, and I take great pride in saying that, and it has been made possible by each one of you. Thank you, Dr. Ruha, for providing this platform, the brilliant LedBy team, Fatima, Dipanjali, Asba, everyone involved, and the brilliant Muslim women who kept me motivated through this entire journey and who constantly inspire me. The pandemic years for me changed a lot, and a lot of self-doubt had crept in, and this is where the LedBy fellowship found me. I didn't find the fellowship, the LedBy team found me, and this brilliant journey of intellectual and emotional growth began. Along with lots of learning, I have made connections for a lifetime with this brilliant cohort. This is my safe space where I can openly talk to like anything. I can openly talk about anything. And I know there are people who will listen, understand, empathize, and will try to find solutions for it. The immense support and love that I have received has transformed me into a new person, and there's no space for self-doubt anymore. A big thank you to LedBy family.
Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. InfoEdge Faisal from the LedBy cohort 1. I am a doctor and a Muslim woman, and I am my ancestors' wildest dream. As for centuries, the profession of medicine, like comparable professions such as law, was dominated by men. As an Indian Muslim woman, I owe my progress to the sacrifices of countless Muslim women before me, including but not limited to my mother and my grandmother. They silently paved the roads so that I could sprint today. While growing up, I didn't really have Muslim women role models to look up to. But over the past years, I've had the opportunity of interacting with peers from my LedBy cohort. These brilliant, brilliant women from all walks of life, each one of them a terrific force to reckon with. I feel very fortunate to be a part of this revolution. At LedBy, we're making sure that young girls do not grow up without dreams. We are creating strong women leaders of today and tomorrow, and I am so thrilled to be a part of this change.
A very happy graduation day, distinguished guests, the LedBy team, and my dear friends. I'm very honored to speak to you all on this very important day. At the outset, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Ruha Shadab and the entire LedBy team for their hard work and dedication on our behalf. Fellow graduates, today we have accomplished something in each endeavor of our academic lives. We learn, we grow, and we achieve to the highest level possible. Today, we are graduating members of the LedBy program, and many of us with the skills acquired for the past few months will surely take up our first jobs, which will be the beginning of our career. Some of us might go further for higher studies. But thanks to everything learned so far, I am confident that we will be climbing and reaching endless heights that we have never reached before. Coming across the LedBy Accelerator program details on LinkedIn to being a graduate of it, it's a very tremendous experience for me. From learning how to connect with people on LinkedIn and how to write resumes to how to look at problems with a different perspective, we all have worked hard to get to this day, and our work did not go for a waste. But this graduation is not the end goal itself. It is instead a part of a larger journey of life. The program is more than just attending sessions and becoming skillful. It was also learning about from the other graduates and making friends with them, whose friendship I will truly cherish. And so today, as we have reminisced a year or perhaps a lifetime of triumphs forged through setbacks, be encouraged that we were born for such a time as this, to be the fresh emerging leaders with resilience and vision. We are to take everything from this program that has taught us and go forth. So this program is our launching pad, now flight. Thank you and hearty congratulations to all.
Graduates, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your journeys and a little bit of your reflections with us. It fills me with so much pride and joy to see all of you here. Next, we have a speaker who's one of our loudest cheerleaders. She's welcomed our fellows to the fellowship, so it's only fitting that she's there to see them off. Presenting Samira Khan, journalist, Columbia graduate, feminist. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Fatima. I'm really happy and honored to be here to witness and celebrate the graduation of these amazing young Indian Muslim women who have been part of the 2022 LedBy Corporate Leaders Fellowship and the Accelerator Program. So in my capacity as a mentor for LedBy for the last 3 years, I've been fortunate to interact with many of the foundation's young Muslim women. And I find them to be truly inspirational, the things I learned from them. Very ambitious in terms of building their careers and finding meaningful work, but also very thoughtful about their place in their communities, in this country, and in the larger world. This last week, I thought very hard about what positive words I could say today to encourage all the young women here and give more wind to your wings. And I felt uncertain. And even more so after I heard the brilliant speakers this morning, the speakers from outside, but also the fellows and the cohort members. They've given us so much food for thought and said such, use words so meaningfully. So I feel even more uncertain as to what more can I add to this. I can tell you to follow your passion, to do what excites you, motivates you, moves you, what you feel for most. And while I do believe that passion for a certain subject or a career choice can make higher studies and work more joyful, I also know with experience that passion alone is not enough. It has to be backed by a lot of hard work and planning. You have to constantly keep honing your craft and the goalposts keep shifting. So your skill building continues even beyond today. And you have to put in the long hours, of course, and there's no shortcut to success, even if you're just following your passion. Also, I would remind you that passions ripen with age and your dreams can change. Do not fear that. Be open to those changes. Remember, all the skills you accumulate over a lifetime of study and work and putting in those hours can also help you in pursuing new passions and new ambitions. Aside from this, as an older woman who has built a career over the last 3 decades in the media and research and writing, I would be failing you if I didn't warn you about the many challenges that await you. Some of these are more discussed than others. Some of these will be discussed this morning by some of the other speakers as well. Some of these, at least a few of you have probably already experienced in order to get to the place you are currently at, such as accessing the right to higher education, to study the subjects you wanted to, and pursue the work you desire to. It might mean facing direct or indirect discrimination, bias, people feeding off stereotypes about your gender, making up stereotypes about gender and religion in getting to the places we want to get to. As LedBy's own hiring bias study conducted this year, which I'm very impressed by, on employment of Muslim women in entry-level roles, revealed that workplace diversity efforts have failed to level the playing field for young Indian Muslim women. And for every 2 positive responses that a resume of a young Hindu woman receives, Muslim women receive only half. More worrying, even beyond the workplace, is the growing anti-Muslim sentiment that pervades our country at this time and also many other parts of the world. This, I believe, is going to be a substantial and not easy challenge for all of us to negotiate. We are more articulate about the forces outside that discriminate and hold us back, but what we do not address enough are the forces within. Our families and communities in particular, who can wonderfully support us. And I think for many of us, that has been the case. That is why we are here today. But also, the same family community can also create roadblocks on our journey to realize our dreams. I notice how often young women, and I talk to a lot of young women, because I do a lot of work on gender and public space, are told, how often young women are told to put aside their professional ambitions. They're allowed to pursue it to a point and then told to put it aside. And even after they put in many long years of work and study and prioritize caregiving and domestic responsibility. Or the other is that they're encouraged to handle both effectively and, handle both professional work and domestic chores and caregiving to all other family members, all on their own. And then they are tagged as superwoman as a compliment. I would tell you to be very afraid of this title because I don't see this as a compliment. I see it as all work being dumped on you. I say all this not to dishearten you, but circumstances outside, circumstances within, not to dishearten you or hold you back, but to prepare you and ask you to ground your dreams in the hard reality that you will most likely face. Be prepared to strategize and negotiate, a word a lot of other speakers have used today, because that is really important. So you need to strategize and negotiate not just with your employers or your workplaces, but also with your family, your spouses and communities. In my experience, what really helps us in facing these challenges is the building of communities and structures of solidarity and support, such as LedBy. And building friendships and mentors. Become a part of mentoring networks, as many as you can. Set them up yourself if you want. And not just within your community or professionals of your religious community, but also outside. Network outside your community. I would really heartily encourage that, as some other speakers have also done so. And stand up for yourself, but also lift others in the process. Stand up for other women also, your sisters, cousins, nieces, daughters, and mentor forward. This journey has been traversed by many women before you. So know that you have it within yourself, the resources to do it well as well. Thank you. Good luck and goodbye. Anushka, you're on mute.
One second. Am I audible now? Yeah. I'm saying thank you so much, Samira, for taking out the time and sharing your kind words. And thank you for constantly supporting our fellows navigate through their journeys and supporting our work at LedBy. Those were some great learnings and reminders that you shared there. Moving forward, we have something very interesting and engaging for all of you. At LedBy, we have women bringing in new skills and talent. And as Samira rightly said, there's a lot of ambition here. And to showcase one of such talents, I want to present to you our current Accelerator Cohort 7 participant, Romana, who's going to present a special performance for all of us.
Hello everyone, I will be performing Mishri by Anup Jain and I hope you all enjoy it. ये पलकों में कुछ बातें हैं तेरे बिना अधूरी सी सारी रातें हैं तेरे बिना और आसमां में जो तारे हैं तू ऐसे मेरे दिल में सजा है ये तारे जो अब टूटे तो इन ख्वाहिशों में तू ही सजा है ना 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 और मिश्री सी तेरी बातें ये यूं होले याद आ रही है और मीठी सी तेरी यादें अब यूं रातों में सुला जा रही है तू आज भी कहीं ना कहीं सपनों में रहा है और मिश्री के इन बादलों में तू आज भी कहीं पे छिपा है ना 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 तू नींदों में बंद आँखों में यूं हौले हौले याद आ रही है ना जाने क्यों फिर आके तू मुझे ही जाना कस के पकड़ती है तेरा ही मैं हो गया हूँ सोने के महलों में तेरा ही मैं हो गया हूँ मिट्टी के शहरों में Thank you.
Romana, that was so beautiful and so soulful. Thank you so much for joining us and singing for all our graduates. Well, now our guest speaker is here, and it's an honor and privilege to be introducing Pramath Sir to everyone. A little bit about Pramath Sir. Pramath Sinha is a pioneering force in Indian higher education. He's the founder, chairman of Harappa, which strives to become India's largest online institution, focused on teaching habits and skills critical to workplace success in the 21st century. He's the founding dean and a member of the executive board of ISB, which has rapidly become one of the top 20 business schools in the world. He's also the founder and chairman of the board of trustees of the acclaimed Ashoka University, a liberal arts university which launched the popular Young India Fellowship. Pramath has been instrumental in setting up a wide spectrum of change-based higher education initiatives, including management programs for career-oriented women, an entrepreneurship fellowship for the Himalayan region, and a solution-focused design education for the built environment. He's also been a media entrepreneur, education consultant, and management advisor at the 9.9 Group, which he founded, and a partner at McKinsey. Academics, however, are his first love. He received a PhD and an MSc from the University of Pennsylvania and a BTech from IIT Kanpur, where he was honored with the Distinguished Alumnus Award 2018. Pramath sir, welcome. We're so honored to have you here.
Thank you, Fatima. That's very kind of you. And that's a very kind introduction. Thank you so much.
So, sir, I would actually want to start off with hearing about your journey through your words. So from a PhD in mechanical engineering and applied physics to consulting at McKinsey and then to education, what made you transition to education?
Well, I'm somebody, I guess you could say, who gets bored of stuff, though not so quickly. I spent about 7 years studying to be an academic, but I had a bad experience when I got my first job as an academic, because I realized that what I had studied for was not what I wanted my life to be. It was one thing to study to be an academic. It was a different thing to work as an academic. Fortunately for me, management consulting happened, and I was a diversified hire along with women and African American because I was called a non-MBA. I think it trivialized the notion of diversity in those days, but that's how it was. And then that worked out. Sometimes in life, things work out even if you don't know you are made for it. And I ended up spending 13 years there. But the foray into education was purely by chance, as often good things are. Somebody asked me to help. Because I was an academic before, they assumed that I knew how to set up a university. It's as ridiculous as saying that if you went to school, you can set up a school, or that you are a doctor and you know how to set up a medical college. But I muddled my way through it. My first such project happened actually in Malaysia. Most people don't know about that, to set up what is now called Multimedia University. I learned by doing and making mistakes. But thanks to all of those mistakes, I got another chance to help build ISB, and that worked out really well. And that gave me the confidence that I could build something from scratch in an educational institution. And I was always conscious of how education can really transform lives. I think my life was transformed because of the education I got. I had seen people around me whose lives had completely changed and shifted because of the education they got. And so I could see now that I could make that happen for others. It was a very empowering feeling. So that's what slowly has led me now to devote my entire life to education. And finally to online education, because I feel that through this medium, one can touch even more people than can by building physical campuses. So that's roughly been my journey. Happy to give you more details, but it's easy to talk about oneself, so I'll consume the whole hour or half hour. So I'll turn it back to you, Fatima.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for telling us about your journey to education. And I think what stood out to me was how you said that you were open to these new experiences, and how you chanced upon something but were open to it. And that's a lesson that I'm personally taking out of that. My next question to you, sir, is I want to know whether while you were moving from one sector to the other and making these transitions, did you have any detractors? And if yes, how did you manage the resistance that came your way?
Yes, there were many detractors along the way. And Fatima, you should really call me Pramath. I feel awkward among so many young people be called sir. I would prefer that most of my students do that, if it's okay with you. But what always happened is every time I made this switch, my parents didn't say much. They always supported me, and they didn't know what I'm doing. So, but they used to worry and they used to be concerned. And even though they didn't say it, their worry would bother me. That I didn't want them to be concerned. So each time I made these switches and took on these things, I felt bad that I was making them worry. And of course, I wasn't sure whether it was going to work out. So there was reason to worry, but I didn't want them to worry. So that was one factor. The other factor was that people who work with you or who have invested in you in your earlier career try to hold you back. So they make a strong case for why you shouldn't move. And worse still, that you are selling out, that you are deserting them, or you are taking on the easy route, or copying out, or going for the money, and so on and so forth, right? So that can become quite a detracting thing as well. And sometimes, your family member, I think my wife was very against my going to become the dean of ISB and take a sabbatical from my work at McKinsey, because she was not happy about my moving to another city for a year, even though it was for a year. And all my friends were telling her, all my colleagues at McKinsey were telling her to stop me, because they felt that not only was my career going to be disrupted, but McKinsey's growth would probably suffer, because they would lose the clients that were my clients, and so on and so forth. So it can become very complicated. And people who sometimes are your best well-wishers, who think that they are doing it in your best interest, will be detractors. What I have found very helpful is to not argue with them so much, because you rarely win these arguments. People are coming from a very emotional place and not a logical place, right? So you just want to assure them that you know what you're doing and that the downside is protected. And my usual argument is, listen, how bad can it be? Or what could happen? I'm not arguing that this will work out, but I'm arguing that if it doesn't work out, what is the worst that can happen? That's one tack I take. So I generally assure them more emotionally and more sort of less logically, and more just giving my personal assurance that I'll be fine and that I'm enthusiastic. The other thing I've found for myself to be stronger in situations like this is to reach out to people who are truly independent and objective mentors. I found that to be very valuable, where people who are a bit distant and a bit removed and who really care about your interest as a professional are able to give very good advice, which often is contrary to people who have a bias or who are emotionally or otherwise vested in. And that gives you a lot of clarity. So for example, when I was rejecting the possibility of going on to be the Dean of ISB, I was working a lot with the Dean of Kellogg at that time, and I turned to him to ask for advice. He didn't know me that well, but I trusted his judgment a lot. And I said, what would you do in my place? And he basically turned out and said, listen, are you kidding? I mean, how many people get this opportunity in the world, in their life? How many partners are there at McKinsey? You're one more. You think you will not serve clients in the future? You don't think you'll have a corporate career in the future? Of course you'll have. But when will you get an opportunity to be the founding dean of a business school, which could, by the way, become one of the top business schools in the world? And that just changed everything for me in one conversation. So often just talking to people who are a little bit removed gives you a lot of confidence And then you can take on the detractors, not logically so much as by just saying, listen, it's okay. I'm here, I'll be fine. I want your support. Don't worry, there's not much downside. I'll manage this. So that's how I typically deal with this.
Pramath, that was really insightful. I think a lot of us here, our graduates, some of us who are on this call, have once in our lifetime definitely faced this. And the empathy that you brought into the conversation with how to manage people closest to you is really, really insightful and helpful. And I'm definitely taking that forward. My next question to you, Pramath, is about the fact that you, apart from everything that you've been doing and you have done, you also support startups and mentor young talent. So what are some of the first things that you notice when a young person reaches out to you for advice or mentorship?
Are you asking in general with young people, Fatima, or with regard to people who are startups or who are doing startups?
I'd say like any young person.
Yeah, I think the first thing I try to do is understand their context and understand their experiences to first and foremost almost figure out and help them with their story so far. I think most people understate and undersell what or who they are. You also find people who are full of themselves sometimes, right? And they like to talk about how great they are and what they've done, but sadly, they actually don't know themselves either. And I don't mean to sound pretentious as if I'm some big guy who figures people out, but I think most young people, and it's good, it's natural, haven't put a story together about themselves. I think everyone has a story. A combination of a personal story, professional story, educational story, academic story, something unique, right? And I think first and foremost, I try to get them to understand that there is something unique and strong in them, which needs to be, and I do that not just to pump them up or motivate them, but you need to build from something. And everybody does have a foundation. So what is your foundation? I think it's important for people to understand that. It could be your family background. It could be some hardship you faced. It could be the fact that you did well or academically or didn't do well and still turned your life around. There's so many stories, right? Everybody's unique. So establishing that foundation that is strong and core and authentic to you that you can build from is very important. Because somebody just used the word mirroring on the chat. We do end up mirroring others' paths a lot, others' desires a lot. We want to do what others are doing. And so the important thing is to figure out what are you doing and who are you and where are you? And not some deep philosophical question, but just in terms of your career, education, experiences, right? So I think it's important to establish that. And then help people understand that today's world is really full of multiple options. Most people will come to me saying they are confused or they are scared. They are scared of getting into something new. And I like to believe that there are two things that I normally tell them. I don't think I have a formula, but now that you're asking me, I think one of the things I tell them is that, listen, we all now live in an opportunity-rich environment. It's very different from the environment that I grew up in, and a lot of people grew up in. But you get to a point in life where you've got a decent education, you've got your first job, or you are a young person with some skills and some foundation, then we are in a very opportunity-rich environment in the sense that there's lots and lots of opportunity out there. And so you're not confused. You just have many options. And it's a matter of narrowing down those options rather than being confused by them. You should, in fact, be excited that you have all these options, because not everybody, even today, has all those options. So look at it as a positive that you have so many choices. Narrow down the choices. And I try and help them do that, because there are some things you definitely don't want to do. And then there's a bunch of things that you could do and you don't know, and that's okay. The only way you're going to find out is to try them out. Try something out. And which brings me to the second point, that instead of saying, once you've narrowed things down, instead of saying no, say yes more often. I think people are always looking for this perfect match, and you won't have a perfect match. The perfect match will only come after the fact. Once you've started doing something, you won't know in advance. You can't have a crystal ball and say, oh, this is the thing for me. So you have to just go try out something that seems interesting intuitively and be prepared that it won't work out. You know, I gave up on academia. 7 years of hard work. I gave up. But is it really giving up? Look, the fact is that it was always there. The training I got to do a PhD as an academic has helped me in life in multiple ways. So Steve Jobs very famously said that, you know, the dots always connect. But the dots connect when you pick up the dots, is what I say. Right? So go ahead, pick up the dots. And I'm not saying be blasé and, you know, just explore and keep jumping from one thing to the other. Be deliberate about it, but be deliberate about picking up enough dots. And once you start having enough dots in your bag, then slowly the dots start to connect and a path emerges. It's very organic. Of course, there are few people who do know exactly what they want to do and it exactly works out. And that, I think, is almost like getting a lottery. And good luck to them and more power to them. But most of us don't really know. And it's okay to not know. It's okay to explore and find out what is it that you really want in life. So yeah, that's roughly what I do in my conversations with folks, Fatima.
So those were very wise words. Pick up the dots, I think, is something that a lot of people are resonating with, even in the chat box. And yeah, I think it's a personal favorite as well. It's a quote that I think I'm going to use going forward. Sir, thank you so much for your insights and inspiration. We're truly grateful for your presence, guidance, and support.
Thank you. The privilege is mine. Thank you so much.
Dearest graduates, we're going to move on now, where I'm going to be sharing my reflections. I've probably said this, but would say this again. I am so proud of you. Please take some time and give yourself the very well-deserved credit. The reason I say this is because in the hustle of the everyday, we forget to sit with ourselves and congratulate ourselves for all that we have achieved. And you, my LedBy graduates, have achieved so much, from managing companies to homes and keeping up with office hours, workshops, mentorship. You've done it all. You're stars who are going to go conquer with empathy and love. I want to thank you for letting me be a small part of your journey, and I hope to continue this journey with you. Okay, moving ahead. Since the graduation is about our participants, I'm going to let some of our participants come back on, and let's hear from a few more of them.
Good morning. My name is Navera. My journey with LedBy Foundation began with my father sending me the link to the website as I was graduating from my degree. It was an uncertain time post-pandemic, and I was also a mature student at 30. I'm grateful for LedBy for it gave me the opportunity to take a step back and think about my personal and professional aspirations. It provided me with a safe platform to develop myself with guidance from industry experts whom I've approached long after their sessions for mentorship. Some of the accelerator program elements can be challenging, especially the problem-solving module. It requires perseverance and a state of vulnerability. Sharing this journey with my cohort sisters has helped me step out of my mind, being an introvert. It led me to become a leader, a listener, a mentor, and most importantly, an advocate for myself in new dimensions previously unexplored. LedBy Foundation has given me hope that we can all come together, support each other, and achieve our goals. I'm glad to share with you that since filling out the initial LedBy Accelerator application, I manifested my dream job. Thank you. I owe it to you.
Assalamu alaikum. Hi all. I am Mariam, a chartered accountant, and I'm just so truly happy and grateful to have been part of the LedBy Accelerator program. I knew I was home the moment I got in the Zoom call of the first session, and I remember it was plotting your life graph and sharing with its cohort. And so many of us had so many wonderful stories to share, and we instantly bonded. Before LedBy, I had very less Indian Muslim women as friends, and I have met so many compassionate and ambitious women here. And I wish you all the very best, having experienced your exponential growth. My biggest learning in my LedBy journey has been when I was selected as the ambassador for the city meetup, and it has been really transformative, honestly. I learned to pitch and negotiate, and for that, I'm truly appreciative of the LedBy team for always believing in me. Lastly, I'm so very grateful to my family and friends for always being so supportive and always having my back. Thank you and all the best to everyone. I'm so proud and excited for all of you. Thank you.
I, Ruby Khadri, work as a marketing and communications manager in a development organization that works for education, healthcare, livelihood, women empowerment. And my background is of my mass communication and journalism from Aligarh Muslim University. And basically, I belong to Patna, Bihar. Many would have applied, but it was my great fortune that I got an opportunity to do my fellowship. In the last 1 year, I have tried to successfully polish my soft skills, and which that helped me get a promotion 6 months back, and also landed me onto the new offer letter from the organization I was looking forward to. Yes, I received my offer letter this week. So I received immense exposure to various aspects like brilliant CV development, GDPI, and whatnot. This experience has helped me understand the issues concerning Indian Muslim women and actionable solutions that could be there. I would especially thank Dipanjali for it, as she has been there thoroughly, or just a message away or a call away person whenever I wanted any input, any advice, and a lot of positivity. For me, this whole learning process is still in progress, but I believe that I have made a great choice of affiliating myself with this organization.
All.
Professional,
So I'm
but also the
Hevash.
entire cohort. Thank you.
Hello all. So I'm Hevash, and I still can't believe that this year-long self-awareness and self-growth journey for me with LedBy is coming to an end. However, I know for sure that with all that I've learned during the LedBy Accelerator is actually going to be the beginning of something even bigger. The wonderful anything, anytime kind of support that I've received from this huge community has truly been a blessing for me, being a student in the crucial year of my career. While preparing for job interviews, I realized that as much as I enjoyed the interactive sessions, they actually somehow instilled confidence in me, along with loads of motivation for other parts. With real time practice of whatever we learned, it helped me secure my first job, alhamdulillah. So, this has truly strengthened my belief that God puts people in the right place at the right time. I'm unable to put how thankful I am in words here, but the accelerator truly turned out to be the best tribe of women to have my back and to share my achievements with. I feel that my cohort has been very lucky to be able to share our biggest milestones within the duration of the program, including me. And I look forward to staying in contact with this amazing network that I've built here. Thank you and congratulations to all of you once again.
What a beautiful Sunday morning and what infectious energy. Good morning, everyone. This is Suzanne Sheikh, a LedBy Accelerator participant from cohort 5. First things first, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. It is a pleasure to share my experiences. To begin with, what attracted me to apply for this program was the statement for Indian Muslim women. That is what really caught my eye. It's especially created to cater to my community. As I reflect back the past year, I can only see a graph of growth. Checks, live workshops, fun activities, incredibly insightful mentorship sessions, and a room full of the right kind of energy and enthusiasm. It was a journey filled with learning. However, what I'll cherish the most is this community of amazing women. I'm truly honored to have been a part of this tribe. This community really helped me develop a better personal identity and a stronger sense of belonging. I'd like to express my heartfelt gratitude to LedBy Foundation for making this a reality. And as we've mentioned before, this is not the end. It is just another beginning. Thank you so much.
Hello and lovely morning to you all. I'm Kulsum Sayed and I'm from the third cohort of LedBy. LedBy has played a pivotal role in my life in the most trying time, the pandemic, and I hope that's true for most of you. There was always so much to learn and so much to share. When I got the email saying that I would be speaking at the graduation ceremony, I was elated and then got the worst cold feet of my life because all these feelings in such little time seemed to express seemed like a Herculean task. It feels surreal to me to have reached the end of this program, and it's also liberating to be this confident Muslim woman, thanks to LedBy. LedBy taught me that I add value to people's life, and then I can guide young women more like me towards their goals and open my eyes to a whole new world of opportunities in the up mentorship segment. I landed my first job thanks to LedBy and its coaching in acing interviews and writing cold emails. And our very dear Miss Asba helped guide me to the corporate world of social media and the do's and don'ts of corporate life. Here in the accelerator program, I just did not learn in the session. The group of phenomenal women is something that I'll cherish all my life. And the friends I made here are the best gift that LedBy has given me. From helping me face my problems and solving them and making me understand that there are smart solutions to everything and no problem is bigger than me, to helping me make small decisions and silly things such as helping me buy my laptop inside the budget with the best available facilities. LedBy has helped me in everything for the past 12 months. And I think it resonates with you as well. So cheers to our tribe and cheers to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all our lovely graduates. And it's always lovely to hear from you. I know it's a very emotional moment for all of us. Our eyes are numb. And I don't want to, smudge off your mascaras by telling something really emotional again. So we have something really special planned for you all. And our current accelerator participant, Salil Batul, have prepared something for you. So stay tuned. So yeah, Salil, the platform is all yours.
Thank you as well. I, Salil Batul from Kargil, Ladakh. I would like to thank LedBy team for giving me that opportunity, that platform. Thank you so much. I presented some Java song in front of you people. Hope you all like it. मैं तेनू समझा बाकी ना तेरे बिना लगता जी मैं तेनू समझा बाकी ना तेरे बिना लगता जी तू की जाने प्यार मेरा मैं करूं इंतजार तेरा तू दिल तू यूं जान मेरी मैं तेनू समझा बाकी ना तेरे बिना लगता जी मेरे दिल ने चुन लिया ने तेरे दिल दिया राह तू जो मेरे नाल तुरेता तुर पे मेरी आसा जीना मेरा उन्हें तेरा कि मैं करा तू कर एतबार मेरा मैं करूं इंतजार तेरा तू दिल तू यूं जान मेरी मैं तेनू समझा बाकी ना तेरे बिना लगता जी तेनू छड़ के किथे जावा तू मेरा परछावा तेरे मुखड़े विच ही मेरा रब नू अपनी पावा मेरी दुआ है सजदा तेरा कर दी सदा तू सुन इकरार मेरा मैं करूं इंतजार तेरा तू दिल तू यूं जान मेरी मैं तेनू समझा बाकी ना तेरे बिना लगता जी मैं तेनू समझा बाकी ना तेरे बिना लगता जी थैंक यू
Thank you so much, Salil. And I'm amazed, like this cohort never surprises me. And as soon as we go on interaction with our participants, it's something really new I came across. So thank you so much, Salil, for joining us today and just enlightening us with such a beautiful song. And before starting off my reflection, I would really like to congratulate all the graduating participants, to all my sisters, to all my like members who I have personally very nudged you all during this LedBy journey for different stuff for social media. So thank you so much for bearing with me. So that's one thing. And I would like to start my reflection with something really personal. So when I started my LedBy journey, I was at a very bad pace of my life. And you all, and it's because of you, I'm just sitting here talking with you all with all the confidence. So thank you so much for being in my life. Thank you so much for giving me that peace. Thank you so much for giving me that power. And one thing I would like to tell you all is we often question ourselves. Okay, it's very normal. We are humans. We have to question ourselves, but we often question ourselves as being a woman. You know, okay, is it possible if we can do that? Should we do that? Is it okay if we'll, apply for a certain particular thing? Absolutely not. We just don't have to think about it. We are leaders. We are powerful no matter what. We just need the right support system. We just need the right tribe with us. And this is our tribe. This is my tribe. So if you have ever walked alone in any part of your life, you are never ever going to do that. LedBy was always there for you. LedBy is there for you, and LedBy will always going to be there for you. So thank you so much to all my dear graduates, and yeah, cheers to all. I hope I have not made anyone cry. Please don't give me that look, everyone.
No. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that, Asba. And as you can see, we have a new term coming up in the chat box, and everything you said was absolutely true. So moving forward, I have something special to share. Our LedBy participants are here and graduating, not only because they're ambitious, super talented, and hardworking women, but also because they have incredibly immense support they get from their families. And I want to take this moment to thank everybody, every family member who has supported these women achieve and get where they are. I would like to invite a few of the family members to come off mute and share their thoughts with us. And to kick us off, we have our cohort 1's graduating participant, Memuna's father, Mazhar sir. So Mazhar sir, if you're here, please come off mute and share.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning to all the people. Thank you very much for inviting me to speak. Memuna's mother is a bit busy in household works. We are really excited to know that she has graduated, and really credit goes to her and the other participants who have participated. Congratulations to all of them, and we hope she will continue attending such programs and events in the future also, which are needed for the overall development of the personality. Education is one thing, but such programs do help in the development of the personality, which is the need of the hour. So we congratulate to all the people, and it's good that LedBy is organizing such programs, which are helping the participants to become the asset of the organizations they are working, and also to asset to the society in general. So we hope such programs will continue, successfully continue such programs. It will grow further, and it will be helpful to the participants and other members. Thank you very much, and good luck to all the participants and all the graduates.
Thank you so much, Mazhar sir, for taking out the time to share this. And thank you for supporting Memuna throughout. She has been an incredible participant. Moving forward, we have our next participant's father joining us with Arushi. She is a co member. So let's hear from Ahmad Raza sir.
Hello, good morning and happy graduation day to everyone. और इस पे मैं कुछ ज्यादा बोल नहीं पा रहा हूँ क्योंकि ये मेरी बेटी ने मुझे मोटिवेट किया, क्योंकि मैं पब्लिक प्लेटफॉर्म पे कुछ बोलता नहीं हूँ, कोई बोल नहीं पाता हूँ, लेकिन शायद LedBy का ही ये कंट्रीब्यूशन है कि मैं आज पब्लिक प्लेटफॉर्म पे हूँ और अपनी बेटी के साथ हूँ। तो इसमें सब मेरी बेटी ने ही बताया था मुझे कि LedBy ये ज्वाइन कर रही हैं और इसमें कुछ प्रोग्राम है जो बच्चों को ट्रेन कर रहे हैं। ठीक है, मुझे कुछ ज्यादा क्लियरिटी नहीं थी, बट थोड़े दिन के बाद मुझे इसमें जो पॉजिटिव चेंजेस नजर आए कि कैरियर ग्रोथ के लिए, पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट के लिए LedBy कितना अच्छा काम कर रहा है, और उसमें मुझे काफी अच्छा फीडबैक मिला, पर्सनालिटी में इनको डेवलपमेंट मुझे दिखा। और मैं विश करता हूँ, मेरी इच्छा है कि भाई आने वाले दिन में इस तरह के प्रोग्राम और भी हो, ताकि मुस्लिम वीमेन कैरियर ग्रोथ में काफी अच्छा प्रॉस्परस हो, और इसका फायदा फिर सोसाइटी को अल्टीमेटली मिलेगा। That's my wish and say thank you to everyone. और मुझे यहाँ बुलाने के लिए मैं भी शायद empower हो रहा हूँ उसके साथ अपने बेटी के साथ कि LedBy के थ्रू, ठीक है, शायद हम जैसे लोगों को भी बहुत सारी ट्रेनिंग की जरूरत है जो LedBy शायद करेगा। एंड थैंक यू रोहा, थोड़े दिन पहले हम पूरी फैमिली के साथ उन्होंने मुझे 2 मिनट मिलने का टाइम दिया था एंड थैंक यू सो मच एंड ऑल द बेस्ट टू ऑल द ग्रेजुएट्स। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, Ahmed sir. That was great and very motivating. And congratulations, Arushi. You have made the father very proud. We are very, very happy. Up and next, as husbands and wives should support each other, we have somebody special. We have Nekha's husband joining us to share something. Let's hear from Imran.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. My name is Imran Rashid. I am the husband of Nekha Fatima. So I am doing my PhD from IIT Kanpur, and Nekha is also a PhD scholar. So first of all, I congratulate everybody who is a part of this initiative and who is also graduating from this accelerator program. So our marriage was during that COVID time, so it was very difficult time. Everybody knew about that. So, and one day I remember she talking about this LedBy accelerator program. And when we take a look at the site, actually, I was also quite impressed. Something like this should be there, especially from a community like us. I am also aware about that. So Nega has always been a very enthusiastic person, and all throughout the program also she was very enthusiastic to join the meetings for doing homework related to that everything. She sometimes discusses with me also. I was also very happy for her. Because I understand that not many women from our community get a chance like this to improve their career or anything like that. So I was quite happy that she was part of something like this. And I also want to just convey my gratitude to all the members and all the organizers of LedBy Accelerator program. And at the end, I just want to congratulate everybody on this day for their graduation. And I hope their best of luck for their future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Imran. And we have heard of the immense support that you give. And yes, it is very true that Neka is so enthusiastic, and we see that during our workshops constantly. I want to thank everybody who has spoken so far. Thank you for taking out the time to support our work at LedBy and thoroughly supporting the participants in every step of the journey. And once again, thank you to all the parents and family members who have joined here with us. Now, as we move closer to the end of the ceremony, it is very heartwarming. And yes, nobody's cutting onions, as Ume said, but it is sort of overwhelming. I want to congratulate each and every one of you and would like you to take this moment to pat yourselves on the back because you deserve this. You have spent so much of your time and effort in upskilling yourselves, in developing yourselves. So you deserve to be here graduating. And as we have said this enough number of times, LedBy is always going to be here for you no matter what. And it is going to be a hashtag Tribe for Life. And we are going to be there to help each other grow personally and professionally. And it is going to be a space where you're going to learn, explore, meet like-minded women, irrespective of the geography, the time, the space that you are in. So make sure to stay in touch and all the very, very best.
Time to do the customary screenshot/photos. So for the next 10 to 15 seconds, can I please request everyone to switch on their cameras, smile constantly as Aspa goes around taking some screenshots of us, and then we'll have our closing remarks. So we'll give you a few seconds to switch on your camera. If you have your graduate caps around, please go ahead and put them on. And we will then start taking some screenshots. Where I can see people putting them on. We're looking good. We have cameras turning on. All right, Asba, once you're done taking screenshots, let us know.
Okay, we are going 1, 2, 3. One more, because we are ladies, so we can't, give good pose in one photo. 1, 2, 3. Done.
Thank you so much. It's overwhelming. It's also crazy to think that this is our third virtual graduation happening. We're also doing this in December, so it's end of year as well. So this is reflections on multiple levels happening. I often get asked, what are the challenges for creating LedBy Foundation? And as one can imagine, there are plenty. All of the ones that you're thinking of in your head have happened to us and continue happening to us. But it's moments like these when we take a pause to very rightfully reflect on what has happened and pat ourselves on our back that make all of these challenges feel totally worth overcoming. So take this moment, congratulate yourself for showing up, for working on yourself, for pausing the innumerable things that we all have going on and investing in yourself, both in your professional and mental growth as well. So thank you for taking out the time. Thank you for being a part of LedBy. And thank you for making LedBy what it is. Another thing that's unique about this particular graduation ceremony is this is the first time we have accelerator also graduating. So we used to have around 20 to 30 women graduate in the first 2 years, but now we have multiple dozens of folks graduating. This growth has been possible because of the people that surround us in our ecosystem. So of course, congratulations to the graduates for bringing their best selves forward, for being authentic, vulnerable, and learning to be confident. Thank you so much for the family, it's the parents, the siblings, the husbands, the brothers. What we've seen at LedBy over the past 3 years is that the number of LedBy women who get referred to us or get told about LedBy from somebody in their family, from a male colleague or a male relative, has also been increasing a lot. I also want to thank the facilitators and the advisors who take out time from their incredibly busy schedule to conduct office hours, to share their experiences, to expand their networks. To the executive coaches, especially of the fellowship, they have been so incredibly generous with their time and not just being there through executive coaching, but all the effort that goes on behind the scenes in creating curriculum, which is culturally, contextually relevant for Muslim women. The biggest thanks though, and I'm sure you'll agree, will go to Dipanjali, Fatima, Anushka, and Asba for running behind the scenes, for making all of this happen, for being available, and really being able to help us create a tribe. The goal of LedBy is twofold. One fold is to bond us, which is what we're talking about in terms of tribe. And the other is to bridge communities. You heard Sharmeen ma'am speak also about asking for help of people outside of the community as well. And we did that a lot at LedBy. Our growth has been possible not just because of the amazing families and the Muslim women themselves, but also so many people who are not Muslim or not women who have come forward to spend their time and energy with us. So although people ask me about challenges, the amount of positivity, the amount of support that we have received at LedBy really makes the challenges seem quite minute. We are a testament, a proof of what this country can give you when you ask for help. And we want to empower each one of us to be able to confidently ask for that help, because it doesn't make us any lesser. We know what our worth is, what our value is, and we know we can shine brighter with other people's support. So as we go on into the new year, wishing you all the very best. Congratulations. Take some time today to thank your family, maybe send an email to that mentor or that advisor. All the very best. And like Asba said, you never walk alone. Khudafis, thank you for joining us.